Today on Alex and Autos, we're out here in the forest taking a look at the 2015 Ford Fiesta hatchback, and this is a Graco Classic Ride 50 child seat, which means it's now time for our weekly child seat review segment. Now in this video segment, I'll be taking a look at this vehicle and its interaction with child seats. This is a Graco Classic Ride 50 child seat, which is a convertible child seat suitable for forward or rearward facing child seat installation from 5 to 50 pounds. So if you want to know how well 1, 2, and 3 of these child seats fit in the back of the Ford Fiesta or in the trunk, then go ahead and watch this video. If you're looking for the complete vehicle review of this 2015 Ford Fiesta, this is the 3-cylinder model, then you'll find that video review on my channel, or you can click at that banner at the bottom of your screen and be taken right on over there. Now instead of starting out up front and then seeing if we can fit a child seat in the back, because the Fiesta is a small vehicle, I've gone ahead and installed this child seat in a rearward facing position in the back, and then we'll adjust the front seat and see if I can fit in it. When installing a rearward facing child seat in any vehicle, it's important to keep about 1 inch to 2 inches of room between the front seat and that rearward facing child seat in the back. The reason is because in a rear end style accident, the front seat can move a decent amount rearward and you don't want it to impact the child seat. If you're unsure of any child seat installation, I suggest you try and find a local certified child seat installer or inspector to help you make sure that you have that child seat put in properly in the back of your vehicle. Now, not very surprisingly, I wasn't able to fit in this front seat with that rearward facing child seat installed right behind me. Now that's not very unusual because you can't do this in the Mazda 2 either, or most entries in the subcompact category. In fact, the only vehicle in this segment that I can recall accommodating a child seat in that fashion is the Nissan Versa. It was incredibly tight, my legs were almost touching the dashboard, but I was barely able to fit a rearward facing child seat right behind myself. That's because that Versa has an awful lot of rear legroom. Now in my 1 adult 2 child seat test, you can see again that the Fiesta is just a little bit smaller back here than the next size class up. It's really just in this width category because legroom as well as headroom is actually fairly generous, especially in the Fiesta hatchback, but this back seat is not as wide as you'll find in something like a Ford Focus or a Honda Civic. Now that's most noticeable with shoulder room. If I try and sit back here in this back seat, you can see that I do have headroom right here. My head is just brushing this side beam in the car, but mostly it's just that my shoulders don't fit between the door and this child seat right here. Like most vehicles sold in the US, we do have 2 sets of latch anchors in the back as well as 3 top tether anchors. The top tether anchors in the hatchback are located far enough down the seat back that I had no problem installing them with the exaggerated buckles that these Graco Classic Ride 50 child seats have. Now Ford says you may use the Fiesta's center latch anchors for a single child seat install in the vehicle. That means that if you don't have any outboard seats also using the latch anchors, you can use those latch anchors for the center seat, provided the manufacturer of the child seat also agrees that that is allowable. Always keep in mind that the vehicle and the child seat manufacturer need to agree that you may use the outboard latch anchors for a center seating position. Now I wasn't able to fit 3 of these Graco Classic Ride 50 child seats in the back of the Fiesta. As you can see, this side door just doesn't close if I try and insert the 3rd child seat. Again, that's not very unusual for the subcompact segment. There really are very few vehicles out there that have a wide enough bench seat to accommodate 3 child seats in this category. If this does describe you, then I suggest that you move on to the next size category up, or you try and find slimmer child seats. The Graco Classic Ride 50 child seat is very middle of the road in terms of overall size, so there are both larger child seats as well as smaller child seats available. When it comes to cargo capacity, both the sedan version and the hatchback version of the Fiesta are very accommodating. The reason that's possible is because the sedan version of the Fiesta is significantly longer than the hatchback, and that sort of makes up for some of the lack of cargo practicality that you get in the hatchback version. Now Ford has taken a lot of effort to rearrange the internals of the Fiesta to make cargo carrying a definite priority in this vehicle. You'll notice that when you open the cargo hatch right here, that the load floor in the cargo area comes right down to about this point in the vehicle. It's actually quite a bit lower than the opening itself. Now if I pull up this load floor, I still have a spare tire under there. So it's not that they ditched the spare tire in favor of cargo carrying capacity. They've just sort of rearranged the internals in the vehicle to make it a little bit handier back here. Let's go ahead and see how those child seats fit. Now, as you can see, I had no problem fitting these 3 Graco Classic Ride 50 child seats right here in the back, and they will even fit right here under the tonneau cover. So if I lower this lid just a little bit, you can see that the tonneau cover will actually clear the child seats. Now, they could be packaged a little bit more efficiently. If you did remove this tonneau cover in the vehicle, you could stack them up all on one side, and you could still fit some additional luggage right over here on the other side. Thanks for taking the time to check out this video. Again, I'm Alex Dykes, and this has been the 2014 and 2015 Ford Fiesta SFE. Now, if you want to know more about the Fiesta SFE, this is the 1-liter 3-cylinder turbocharged version of the Fiesta, then go ahead and subscribe to my channel. You'll also see that review over there as well. You can also send your questions to alex@alexandautos.com. Find me over at facebook.com/alexandautos, and at Twitter as Alex and Autos. I'll see you next week.